Welcome back to the Rugga Muffin Show. We're back from our self-imposed exile. Rugby Championship starts this weekend, so we had to come back. My mate MXO is not here. He's on a slave ship somewhere, but we carry on. I've got the water boy, or VAR, or TMO.
Yeah, I'm all those things in one. Exciting times.
Yeah.
Rugby Championship.
That's it.
URC. Can we start with the URC? Or should we start with the squad?
Let's start with the championship before we run out of time.
Okay.
Rassie announced his squad this past week. No real surprises. I think bar one or two. Sacha starting at 10. And then the rest.
And number 8. Number 8, wasn't that a surprise?
Yes. That's a bit of a surprise. But besides that, I mean, the core of the team is the World Cup winning team. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I just want to speak on a few of the selections.
Can we go through the whole squad?
Sure.
Starting from the props. Ox Nche, Bongim Bonambi, Franz Malherbe. That's your front row.
That's the front row. No surprises there. Eben Archie, no surprises there.
The Archie has always been a substitute.
Yeah, but I think they're going through a bit of an injury crisis at the moment at Lock. So Archie, I mean, yeah. So Archie, he doesn't weaken the team. If anything, they might struggle when they bring on the bomb squad, because he would come on and be the enforcer at the 60th, 70th, 80th, 70th minute. But I think him coming on starting is not a bad thing at all.
With Kolisi, the captain, is that a surprise for you with his shenanigans at Racing 92?
Look, the things at Racing, firstly, I heard somewhere with all the stuff we read and watch that there's a rumor going around that Saru is trying to buy him out of his contract there. I mean, he's 1 year in and he's at a fallout with the owner. So I don't know if you can address that if you are Sia and find a way to still play for the team and to be productive. And I think it's a good thing if Saru really is buying him out of his contract. I think it's a very good thing both for Sia and for SA Rugby, because the way, I mean, he's carried the team, the way he's led the team, the way he's so relatable to not just black Springbok supporters, but across the spectrum, I think does wonders for SA Rugby. And it's money well spent if they do it.
Did you manage to catch the press conference with Rassie being asked that question of the possibility or the chances of him being back at the Sharks? Because I think that's the talking point this week or the past week.
I
2 weeks.
I think I caught the tail end of it.
Okay.
And Rassie basically just said Andizingen, which is fair, because you don't want him to seem like he is wagging the dog by the tail, so to speak.
But it looks like it's a done deal. Looks like he's coming back.
It sounds like it.
Yeah.
But we can never be, until they say he's coming back and he's back at, I mean, the other talking point is whether it goes back to the Sharks or it goes back to Province. And that's also another.
Do you think he's still there, though? He still has what it takes to be that impact player. That's we know. I know his character, his personality in uplifting the team and everything. On the field play.
Look, I'll put it this way. If he's good enough to captain the Springboks in the Rugby Championship, then surely he's good enough to play for any of the franchise teams in South Africa.
Yeah, I think his last showing was not bad too. I think he had a strong showing.
Against Wales, was it?
Yes.
He had a great outing against Wales. And I was looking for the fat that they're complaining about.
There was nothing of that sort.
He was one of the standout players actually against Wales for me.
Yeah. Maybe he had a point to prove to the French people.
I just feel like Sia's always been under some sort of microscope. And he's always had a point to prove. I mean, there was a point where the media was going on about he's not the captain. The other people in the team Dwayne Vermeulen was touted as the real captain of the Springboks. You know, and he's outplayed all of that nonsense.
Should we dwell on that one?
No,
Let's move on.
nonsense.
Peter Steff, okay, no surprises there. El Ruchlo, who is he? What's his thing? Because people were kind of surprised that he's coming to the fold.
Look, I think he's been in the setup for a long time. He's been there and thereabouts. It's a bit like Ivan Roos. I mean, Ivan came on, I think, 2 seasons ago, and is fighting through injuries.
Was he not the one tipped to be the next number 8 for the Springboks? Roos.
Yes, he was, but he, like I just said, he's going through a lot of injury issues. And I mean, this guy, El Ruchlo, again, for me, does not weaken the team. Okay. He carries well. He brings a lot to the table. He plays the kind of rugby that Rassie likes to play.
Okay. And then moving on to the back line. Number 9, Kobus Reinach.
That, for me, that selection.
With Grant Williams on the bench.
You see, that for me is the issue. If you're starting Sacha, who is, I mean, he's a natural attacker. Yeah. You know, we've seen him at fullback. We've seen him, you know. He's
been said to be a Pollard and Libbok in one.
He gives you that. I mean, Pollard is bankable when it comes to kicking for poles, and Sacha has done that. Yeah. And he's got a bigger boot, if anything, than Henry, actually.
Yeah.
And on attack, we've seen him against Wales, we've seen him against Portugal, we've seen him against Ireland. He brings a lot to the table. My worry with Sacha, and I've been saying this for a minute now, with all these utility backs that they like, and I say they like, but it looks like rugby is going that way. I was listening to the All Blacks coach on their rugby show over there, speaking about players that he picks in the back line must play at least 2 positions. So it looks like Rassie has blazed a trail that everyone's trying to follow now.
We've got Damien, who's also injured, who's also a utility back. We've got Sacha, who's a utility back. Grant, is he?
He's a utility back.
Wing and scrum half. Who else in our back line would you say is a utility back? Fassi?
They play Vili as a utility also. They insist on picking him.
But I've only known him to be playing fullback. Where else can he play?
But he plays first receiver during the match.
Okay.
I think they trust his left foot to clear out on defense. Vili, guys, I've been saying he's done since.
We've already skipped that, and you had a strong argument about Vili, saying there's no way Vili is going to leave the Springbok squad without getting his 100th cap. I think he's at what now, 80 something or 79?
I don't care to know where he is, but there are fullbacks that can be picked. I mean, if we're looking forward to the next World Cup, I feel like you've got
Damien.
You've got Damien, you've got Fassi, you've got Sacha even.
Yeah.
Who can all play fullback as effectively as Vili, because Rassie believes in him for his effect, I guess.
But there were arguments that he played very well for the Bulls, and when he got injured, it resulted in them losing the final in the URC.
Look, guys, I call BS on Vili, and that's me on that.
Damien and Kriel in that center pairing. Khanyo had a decent showing against Portugal, I would say, but I mean, it's Portugal, so.
No, but also, it is Portugal, but he played 2 positions. Let's not discount that.
Oh, yes, because he was, most of the match, he was covering
both centers.
Yeah.
So I would have loved, I mean, with the back 3 they've picked, I won't count Vili, but Cheslin
Ketley Arendse.
I would have loved to have a Lukhanyo linking to those 3 attacking weapons, because they are weapons. And I feel like Jesse Kriel tends to hold on to the ball a little too much.
Yeah.
He likes taking contact. I guess he wants to show that he's still gymming, he's still ripped.
Tough guy.
But I would have loved to see Lukhanyo there, just to show what attacking weapons that back 3 can be.
But no weaknesses when it comes to defense from our center pairing, eh? Damien and Jesse. And Jesse had a strong World Cup.
No, he did. He did. My only fault for Jesse is that he holds on to the ball for too much.
Yeah.
He likes taking contact. When there's an easy outlet, he'd rather take the contact, and that takes away from, our attacking prowess.
Any standout players on the bench there? Malcolm Marx is back in the loop.
He is, and I think anyone who loves rugby and the kind of rugby the Springboks play will appreciate Malcolm Marx being fit.
Yeah.
Kwacha, we know what we're getting there. The other one that we might not know a lot about is Ben Jason Dixon. He's covering at 8, but there's talk of him also coming in on the side of the scrum and maybe even at 5. So again, the utility theme carries on with the forwards. Look.
Who would you have liked to? The deep sigh says that, okay, we've gone through the squad.
No, look, I think Rassie has picked a strong team. But I think the elephant in the room for me is that we're playing Australia in Brisbane at Suncorp. The last 13 games we've played there, we've won 1. And we don't play a lot of rugby there. So it goes back many years.
But where do you think our weakness is when you look at those games?
I just think that field plays fast. It plays super fast.
And they're very fast and young back players, right?
Yeah, and they've got a coach now in Schmidt who has restored the belief that Eddie withered away. He's a solid coach. He did it with Ireland. And I think Australia is seeing the fruits of having a coach that believes in the players that are currently in the system.
Yeah.
Whereas Eddie tried to bring in players from nowhere. I think in preparation for the World Cup they're going to host, and he failed dismally.
Look, I'm a guy from the Eastern Cape, right? And I take pride in our rugby players there. We have a long line of specifically brilliant black players, especially where I come from, at Konyi. Apelele Fasi is there. He's in the squad. He'll probably make a showing in one of the matches in the Rugby Championship.
We know Rassie, I think, likes Apelele, but I think it's to a point. That's my sense. Like, he'll pick him.
He played well versus Wales.
No, he did.
Except for that landing that ended on someone else's neck.
No, he did. And he took his punishment. He sat for 10 minutes. He came back. And he carried on like nothing happened. He put out a great performance for mine.
I thought so too. I was actually surprised when he was dropped for the next match. He didn't play against Portugal, or did he?
No, he did not play against Portugal.
Okay, so where I'm going with this, Dale is just down the road from my home.
Hey, my God.
There's a lot of Dalians there.
I get emotional.
Sanele no hamba, Rassie. Sanele no hamba. URC player of the tournament. People say, no, but he isn't settled in one position. We know the guy is a scrum half. Look at him. He's a scrum half.
Sure.
And you've got your Sacha there. Just put the guy in, man.
Sanele Nohamba is a great player. He's a great talent. He's a utility back, which is what Rassie likes. He gives you 10, he gives you 9. Rassie has got his people. And I've been saying this for a minute now. Rassie's got his people. He believes in Kobus Reinach. He believes in Grant Williams. Grant gives him gas that no one else can.
Yeah.
You can't practice that.
No. Yeah.
And then he's got.
Sonele Nohamba has gas, man.
Not Grant Williams gas, chief.
Okay.
No.
Okay. But he does have gas.
No, he's got enough speed.
Maybe he's got Noah Lyle's gas and not Tebucho.
That's a great segue. But I think Rassie has got his people. And I suppose also he's proven that his people deliver. He's given us 2 World Cups, So as much as we are emotional and we'd like to see Sanele in the Springbok squad,
it's not happening.
It's a stretch.
All right. Our bronze medal at the Olympics.
Which one?
Rugby sevens.
Look, the boys did well, man.
Yeah.
After
a shaky, very probably the shakiest,
The
start,
shakiest start
we've
ever.
ever had.
They did well to come out with a medal.
Who's your man of the tournament? Is it Davids?
It has to be Davids.
Yeah.
It has to be Davids.
Veteran too, right?
He carried that team well. But I think collectively, man, they all wanted it.
Yeah.
And you saw against New Zealand, I think it was, where they played them earlier and New Zealand gave them a hiding. And then came the quarter. It was done. So I think big up to the team, but big up to the managers also for talking the boys up after such a crappy start.
MXO is not here, but we want to hear his take on the squad. I think he's always behind the coach, right? I see where now you have some issues with the coach.
MXO is a Rassie fan.
I know.
He's a zombie fan, you know?
Yeah.
But he'll give us his takes. Hopefully, our editor.
Let's cross to him right now.
Hey guys, my name is Unjad. It's really, really, really lovely to be back. I'm really excited with what could be tomorrow. I'm looking forward to the guys. I'm looking forward to seeing what the front three is gonna do. The guys like Ox and Jay, Bongim Bonambi, Franz Merhelber, how they're gonna stamp their authority on the game. Eben Esbeth, RG Sneeman, that partnership might develop to something special with the athleticism of RG and the physicality of Eben. I really sense dynamites are going to come out of there. And then, of course, Usia Kolisi naye, with the move to France and what the owner of the club was saying, it would be good to see what he's going to bring, you know. I'm excited to see him prove wrong and show that physicality that we know. And then we've got to Peter Steph to Toit, Engelbrecht. That's another combination that's still yet to develop. You know, that's a lot of physicality there between the 6, 7, and 8. So it's going to be wonderful to see. And how Engelbrecht gets his role and what role he's going to play there. And then, of course, Ukupas Ranecha is an athletic number 9. He's a very good hand-on-ball kind of guy. If they leave a little bit of space, the guy's gone as a bolter. And then, of course, you with that going on, then you have Abo Kitley and then Cheslin Colby, who are really going to come into their own, especially with the replacement of the bench at number 9, Grant Williams again coming in, who's similar to Kubas Reinecha, but with even more pace at that stage of the game. Imagine the kind of gaps he's going to be finding, and then of course those backs again, they come into play, and then Upindu Faku Smith there in the mix where he'll be running at the back and so on. I'm really looking forward to the later stages of the game as well. And of course, the guys that we have, the two that we have, with Damon and Jesse Creel. Let's see what they're gonna bring now. You know, we know what the lander can do. You know, his physicality, and Jesse Creel, as physical as he is also quite dynamic. So I'm really excited to see the guys. And the guys coming off the bench, the front three that's going to come off the bench. I'm looking forward to seeing what the role of the bomb squad is going to be now with the change in the rules, and how the front three already that's starting is going to cope with the game. It's really one that I think we're going to look forward to, because something is going to develop, something new is going to happen. You know, obviously we can't keep playing the same now with those changes. Those changes have been made to depower Scrum. So let's see how what new ways of playing we bring, So I'm really looking forward to it. You know, I can't wait. I'm excited. So Bonnie Glancy up, Glancy is winning and oh,